everybody. So today we are diving into the adventure off-road comparison that every owner of any made vehicle needs to consider when you're purchasing things for your vehicle. So today we're covering items specifically made for our Chevy Colorado ZR2, but this advice can be used across multiple platforms including Toyota, Nissan, Ford, basically you name it. What are we comparing today? Well, we are going to compare the Lasfit mats compared to the OEM Chevy mats. The question we're going to answer today is if spending $150 in the front and $100 in the rear is the best value for your money, or is the Lasfit mat really worth your attention considering they run about $130? So when we originally purchased our Chevy Colorado ZR2 here, we had Chevy points to use, so we put in the Chevy OEM floor mats. These floor mats here, you can get through any of the Chevy points dealers. You have to look in your area because not every Chevy dealer participates. Or you can have them shipped to your house for an extra fee. So the mats that we are looking at here today come in two separate sets. You get your front set and you get your back rear set. Now, that can get kind of pricey. I'll be real with you. When we purchased this, we used the Chevy points from this truck here, and it only covered about half of what we need for these mats. So total for the whole thing, you're looking at about $250. Kind of pricey, but let's see what the mats actually look like inside of the pickup truck. So let's talk about the Chevy OEM mats. They come straight from the brand that made your truck, just similar to the Toyota mats or any of those other brands like Nissan or Ford. They're precision engineered to fit your interior. As you can see here, everything kind of hugs really nicely. You do end up with a little bit of carpet space, but that is typical of any mat that you see. They also feature molded grooves to trap that dirt and snow. As you can see here, we have some debris here. I did clean these mats, but I don't typically take them out to clean them. I just hand clean them. So for $250, you expect them to pretty much be the end-all be-all. Sounds good, right? What could possibly be the problem? But I will show you the problem that we have here in the rear. I'm honestly disappointed with the rear mats for the price point that you do pay for these. So what am I actually talking about here? So if you can see here, this cutout leaves where you can get dirt. You can actually kind of see where our vacuum missed. And then you get it just cut out underneath here, and there's a lot of places, like right here, where dirt can get. And so this becomes a problem if you use your truck or have passengers riding in the back. Now, if you're gonna do a rear seat delete, this probably doesn't matter to you. But if you have kids, this can be an issue. And with Everett, who is 9, this can be an issue because we get a lot of dirt on that carpet. This is the side he typically sits on. The other side isn't as dirty because he doesn't sit over there. Another annoyance I have is how this mat fits in here. This isn't one solid piece. As you can see here, this part comes apart, but this is a booger to get put together. To get these tabs to fit in, I had to actually get my nail file to push these into place because this is so tight. Now what's good is it's tight so you don't end up with any of the mud getting underneath, but this getting put into place over this hump is just not an ideal situation. I would much prefer it to be one piece. So I am curious to find out if the Lasfit mat will fix this problem. So this is the driver's side. And as you can see, it's very similar to the passenger side. You still get that nice tray that comes up and doesn't allow you to get dirt up on the side. Just like normal mats, this isn't going to be covered. But as you can see there, that is about the line that is covered on these mats. Why don't we pull these mats out of the truck and let's get them out and compare them to the brand new Lasfit mats that they sent us, and we thank them for sponsoring this video. So now that we got the OEM Chevy mats pulled out of the truck, it's time that we introduce our challenger, which is the Lasfit floor liners. Now, for just $129, you get front and rear mats, unlike the Chevy liners. Let's be real, for anyone out there, you know that this economy has been kind of meh for most people. So any dollar you can save. So the Lasfit mats are almost half price of the Chevy mats, which is a big deal. You just spent a ton of money on whatever truck you just bought, and you don't want to spend too many pennies if you don't have to, am I right? But to be honest, I have a feeling that saving money is just the beginning for these Lasfit mats. Let's get them pulled out and put them next to the OEM Chevy mats. So let's check this out. Here is the back mat, which anyone who's watched up to this point knows that this is my pain point inside the truck. As you can see, they've apparently used 3D scanning technology for a perfect edge-to-edge fit with no gaps, no exposed carpet, just complete protection for the floor. Of course, I am skeptical that these are really 3D fitted and perfect for your truck without testing them. And so that's why we're testing them, so you don't have to. So Dane has joined us, and he's seen the Chevy mats, obviously. He's been driving them, but he hasn't seen the Lasfit mats yet. So what's your first impression? So these are the passengers, and then those are the driver, and then these, of course, are the rear. Right. What do you think, just seeing them out of the box?
I like that this doesn't have to cut out like that. Ugh.
Right? That's where Everett puts dirt, and it's not his fault.
It does. It gets on the carpet there, so we've cleaned the carpet. And I like the driver one that goes up a little farther.
Yeah, the driver one I think was more.
Dead pedal.
You get more dead pedal space. It's easily a lot more.
Looks like it's about the same otherwise.
Yeah, I think, and then for the rear mat, you end up with this extra channel.
Grooves, I guess, and then your rear mat, you get the extra channel. It looks nice. They look nice. Very similar, much cheaper.
They are much cheaper, and so
but well made. Cheaper in price, but well made so far. These ones are taller than the back ones. They have a nice little lip to keep all stuff contained. That one's a little tiny bit taller too. So they're a little deeper. They hold a little more. I feel very similar quality-wise. Yes, very similar. Pretty much the same.
Yes, I would venture to say they're built with the same materials, except for Chevy doesn't say that they're eco-friendly, where Lasfit is. So they don't have any BPAs or PFAs, and so they probably don't off-gas as much as the Chevy mats, but I don't know, because
they're all rubber-ish.
They're all made of the same similar material. So,
good,
as far as we know, like, there's no off-gassing between them. We unwrapped both of them. I don't smell anything. Right. So if you're worried about smells, neither of them smell.
Yeah, so neither one smells.
Neither one smells. So as far as if you have smell problems, either one is fine. We're gonna do a water test to show you kind of how the channels work. So first one up is the OEM passenger side mat. So we're gonna pour a cup of water onto the mat, and then we'll see where it pools, and then we'll do the same thing to the Lasfit mat to see where it pools up. And then that'll give you kind of an idea of where your water might channel, give or take. You know, it's not installed in the truck at this point, but it'll show you how much water is retained in which part of the mat. Here's the Chevy mat. We're gonna pour straight in the middle. Cup of water. So if this was in your truck, this would be towards the door. Let me go get some. We're moving on to the Lasfit liner, and this is exactly a cup of water in the same location. As you can see, the Lasfit mat is pooling it in different areas than the Chevy mat. So as you can see here, you're going to be more towards where the deeper part of the tray is, versus the Chevy mat, which wants to go towards this outside, which isn't as deep. This Lasfit liner has way more outside curving than the Chevy liner, so as you can see here. The water cleaned up, and then we're gonna do a mat by mat comparison, lay them over the top of each other, and then we'll install the Lasfit mats to see if they really do fit better and look better in the truck overall. Let's find out. So I've cleaned up the mats after the water test, and if you clean mats and you don't like taking them out, if you look at these grooves in the OEM mat, these are really small. And so if you can see, I can barely get my finger in there. That is not a problem on Lasfit. Like, you can see this mat has a ton more moisture on it. That's because it's really hard to get dried. But let's look at the Lasfit mat. Same amount of water from our water test. This one, I was able to get my fingers in here. Look at that. I can fit my finger, instead of fitting it this way, I can fit it horizontally right through each of these grooves. I'm able to get this completely bone dry. To be honest, I didn't expect to have a difference in the driver's side mats here. This is the OEM mat. As you can see, it's got the little Chevy logo. And then this is your Lasfit mat. Now, you can clearly see that the driver mat for Lasfit is quite a bit bigger. The lips are very similar to the passenger side, where they're just a little bit more to protect that carpet. But I think the biggest difference for us here is if you look at the dead pedal spot. This is significantly larger. This goes all the way up. This one ends about 3 or 4 inches down from where this is. This is going to be even across the top, so you're not going to get all the dirt from wearing boots. Heaven forbid, you're using your truck for work and you don't want to get mud on your carpet, but you're going to use your dead pedal place. And if you've been out in the mud, you've been hiking, you've been working, you're going to use that dead pedal spot and you're going to get this part dirty. This mat takes care of that problem, which I'm blown away by, because to be honest, I expected them to be quite similar to each other. But this mat, as far as coverage before it gets in the truck, this impresses me. Good job, Lasfit. So we're gonna start with the back seat install first. Since I already have the truck seats moved forward, we're gonna see how fast we can actually install these mats in real time. Of course, for you, we'll fast forward it and we'll put the time at the bottom. So ready, set, go. And stop. See how quickly we get both sides of the Chevy installed, but this one I gotta move the seats for. So this should equal out in the install process. So ready, set, go. And we're done. That, as far as I'm concerned, easiest upgrade. Now let's take a look at the mats and compare them to the OEM mats inside of the truck. Let's start with the passenger side of the vehicle. As you can see here, this tray almost matches this line. It's still a little bit below, but it is way closer to the Chevy. Also, this isn't flat anymore. So we actually have water coverage in that section, and that is super awesome. And as you can see, it goes up about the same amount. So as you can see here, that hump is pretty much covered wherever it was getting some of the debris and things. We still have a little bit of lack of coverage. I wish any seat mat would go here. I mean floor mat, but they just don't. And as you can see, it's kind of not settled in yet, but we are going to try these for a few days and get back to you on this. But as you can see, this lip now has a lip instead of being completely level with the floor. As you can see here, just like the passenger side, you get some really great coverage. As far as compared to the Chevy mat, you get a little bit more on the sides, but as far as the back side, they are equivalent. But the big difference is right there. I don't know how to explain that, but that dead pedal coverage is amazing. And as you can see, you're not going to get mud behind your pedals. This coverage here for your driver's side is worth it. Holy moly. Like, I am not going to get a ton of mud right here because the Chevy one ends about right there. You can see there, it goes up. And you're not, if you're a contractor or anybody, that coverage is worth your money right there. So the question most of you are asking is, if I was to buy the mats again, which one would I buy? And to be honest with you, it's not the Chevy OEM mats. If I didn't have Chevy points, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't have purchased them anyway. The Chevy OEM mats are super nice. They're branded. It makes your truck just have that little bit of extra special feeling. But for the money and for the protective coverage, I would definitely buy the Lasfit mats all day long. They did sponsor this video, but honestly, I am impressed with their product line overall. Their bed mat, their LED headlights, and now their floor mat liners are amazing. If you're questioning on which brand to go with, Lasfit should be definitely the first place you look, besides obviously your OEM manufacturer. But that's it for now, and we hope that you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll hopefully see you out on the trail getting these mats muddy here soon. But bye for now.